Okay, well, personally, I love the Thrasher Skater of the Year simply because it's not the best skater of the year, right? It's like who Thrasher picks, who's the Thrasheriest. If it was like the best skater of that year, Nigel would have won 2 years ago with that Need That part, which makes it less cut and dry. I think it's fun to try to think, oh, like, what is this group of people going to think is, I mean, if we're being honest, like the coolest or the one that has done the most with the magazine. So like you start taking into consideration like, oh, who had more ads, who got more covers, stuff that really doesn't have a true bearing on who did the most stuff or the best stuff that year. But I think this year it usually like winds up between, three people, but like we really know it's down to two. This year, though, I think it's a little unique because I think all three people have a real shot at it for different reasons. I also think that it's interesting on who the underdog is, being that like they're the most arguably like well known in the skateboarding world. I also think it's important to note that both Chris Jocelyn and Tom Shar are dropping another part before the year is out. I'm 99% sure that Tom Shar is. I was told by someone who would know that Tom Shar is about to drop another part, and then Jocelyn told me himself that he's going to drop a part. So we're just going to look at what's been put out, be as objective as possible, and try to, really guesstimate which way Thrasher is going to lean. I have my pick, so I'll just be honest, who I want to win versus who I think is going to win. I kind of want Tom Shar to win. It's been a long time since a Vert Skaters won, and it's been a long time since someone has taken something to a different degree. Someone told me that I need to rewatch Bob Burnquist's Dreamland part before I rewatch Tom Shar's part to like really get my head in the game. When I watched Tom Shar's part, I'm like, oh, it's crazy that he like took it to another level, and they were kind of saying like, yeah, he did take it to like another level, but like the other stuff was kind of right there. Regardless, I think Tom Shar is doing something in skateboarding that's making an actual impact. I mean, if we're being honest, the main thing that made an impact this year is the 360 flip down El Toro, which obviously we'll talk about. But yeah, I don't know. It's seeing so many people excited about a vert part is pretty insane. I mean, aside from Jimmy Wilkins and JD Sanchez is getting like some eyes on him for sure, and people are stoked on him, but like not in the way that like Tom Shar, right? Like Tom Shar, not only does he like win every combi pool contest, and he won the final combi pool contest, I believe. But to put out like a serious part, so we're gonna watch the part. I think a lot of people don't realize how many parts were dropped by the people who are in the running for this. Tom Shar actually has only dropped one though, so and I'm probably not gonna put everyone's entire part in this, especially because like this part's 7 minutes long, right? But I think it'd be nice to have a little bit of a refresher. I think it's really important to note that Tom Shar had that cover, and the footage of that cover hasn't come out yet, which I'm assuming is going to be in his new part. And if you know anything about FTR and that quarter pipe, it's insane. One of the things that's going to keep a lot of people from being like super into this part, that makes no fucking sense, is Mega Ramp stuff sort of like doesn't translate well to like a street skater's head. Like even like I've like dabbled in vert skating, and I have a lot of friends that like skate vert, like I see how they get down, but even like knowing that sort of stuff, it's still kind of hard for me to understand what's really going on. That's why like I enjoy talking to like skaters like Matt about this and like get a feel for what they think about it. But regardless, like these dude, like that switch backs at Ollie. Like look at his feet. Like no matter what kind of skating you're into, that stands out to you. See, this is the sort of stuff that I feel like doesn't get too many people super excited, just like regular vert stuff. I do like when they put boxes on the vert ramp. It makes me think of Runglifberg. See, 180 switch crook on that. I feel like they should have put the goalpost stuff a little bit later in the part, because he already 180 switch crook something that was like 8 feet tall. So him doing it on that, even though it was in a line, it's kind of like, if you like backside flip 18 stair in your part, and then you do a backside flip down a 14 stair in a line, I feel like no one will care about the line. That frontside disaster is probably good preparation for the one that he had the Thrasher cover on. Like, okay, that ollie to fakie. And this is, what's his name's backyard, right? Jeez, switch crook. I wonder if anyone, like, imagine a Mega Ramp slappy. Like, you just build, like, a big vertical wall, but have the transition right to it. So, like, you kind of ride on the wall and slowly... You'd probably want the ledge to be curved. I'm sure that's going to happen at some point in time. But yeah, a lot of this stuff... how do I put this? He's not, like, going and doing these things on anything bigger, right? Like, the Mega Ramp has kind of been set. But he's doing tricks on par and stepping it up to what Danny Way and Bob Burnquist has done, which hasn't been touched in years, right? Like... They took that bar and set it so far out of reach for everyone that it kind of like a trick or two would get like released every once in a while, but no one was like really dropping a part that I think made everyone go, oh, like, it's still going. Like, here we go again. Because to me, this part's called Vert's Not Dead. I feel like it's really Mega Ramp's Not Dead. Because Vert's sort of having a weird resurgence right now. Like, floating and landing on the deck and doing that revert around, I feel like would just be so scary. Yeah, Evil Dylan Jab is like, I don't know. Also, stink bug grabs are allowed on Mega Ramp. I didn't know. I don't know if you knew that, but there's a good bit of it that I've been seeing just in general. It's not me like nitpicking him. Like just in general, when you skate Mega Ramp, Bob, Danny Way, they're all grabbing between the legs. Probably because you're 30 feet in the air and going like an insane amount of miles per hour, and if you fall, you die. So you're probably not thinking too much like better get behind that knee. You're more so thinking like I don't want to die. Like rolling down switch on that, you see how narrow that is? Like imagine switch speed wobbling. Like the switch backside flip is obviously amazing, but I just like think about what it would be like to be on top of the ramp. Because when I went to Bob's Mega Ramp and I stood at the roll in, like it's literally the Baxter Hill Bomb that's super, super gnarly that people just like ride down as like tricks in their video part. That is the roll in to get to the Mega Ramp. It's ridiculous. I think people really underestimate the speed that these Mega Ramp skaters ride on. And you can say what you want about like, oh, well, they have like bigger wheels and bigger trucks. Yeah, they're still going like miles per hour more than the most crazy GX rider, That was insane. See, a lot of this stuff, like the full cab front nose to fakie and the nollie full cab tail slide, it's hard for me to comprehend that because I'm tainted by like how I know those tricks work on street. This channel stuff is like the big channel stuff hasn't really been touched as far as I know since Tony Hawk did it in One Step Beyond, and I think he did a little bit more of it. Jimmy Wilkins, the other vert skater I can think of, like later in his career, and then I've seen them do something similar to this like on this on this vert ramp, but like removing this many pieces of it is just ridiculous. Dude, the way he caught that too. I mean, just think about how excited you get when you watch Jamie Foy do a backside big spin on a quarter pipe and it goes like 3 feet above the coping. Now, like, we're gonna go to Chris Jocelyn now, who, in my opinion, like is kind of the underdog in the sense that, like, he's had the cover of Thrasher, right? Like he's been in Thrasher a bunch of times. They post his video parts. But, like, in a way, he seems like the least Thrashery Thrash. Like, he's not, like, Hell Ride, blah, 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 blah. Like, he's more like a skate rat that, yeah, I mean, he's just, like, so gnarly, undeniable. Like, of course they're going to repost his stuff, but he doesn't seem to be the kind of person who's, like, trying to fit into that Thrasher mold. I think he is undeniably, like, the best gap skater of all time. I think second place might be, like, Reynolds or something like that. And they're both well-rounded. I feel like Jocelyn doesn't get a lot of credit for how well-rounded he is as well. Like, he put out that one video part that was, like, pretty much all ledges. But he dropped a couple parts. So we're going to go through them. There's 2 of them, and then there's one more still to come. That was just so silly to me. It's like he just like appeared in the middle of the sky and then just drops out of the sky. I don't know whose idea it was to do that animation, but give him a raise, I guess. That 4 block is massive. Nollie hard flip's pretty ridiculous. Whatchamacallit, like John Bradford got a trick for his part down that thing, and it wasn't exactly super easy for him. So in this part, it seems like he's... I'm trying to remember how I felt when I first watched it. That's fucking such a crazy trick. He's skating a lot of like random gaps, so they're not as easy to compare to a lot of the stuff that he puts out, because the format of the skater skating famous spots has somewhat died. One, because I think it's like really intimidating. Skating has been pushed so far, it's hard to like go to a famous spot and try to get something. To go to a random double set you haven't seen much footage of is a little bit easier to like feel good about your clip, even though it might not make as much of an impact. But I think there is some like bigger stuff sprinkled throughout this, and I know for his part that he still has the drop. Like he skates famous skate spots and does some ridiculous stuff. Like this thing is super crazy. There's a long lens angle of that. I forget where. Oh, he wanted to switch crook that. That's really sick. Was that him? No. I forget what I was gonna say. I'm getting distracted by the skating. I love his barrel heels, how they kind of shifty. So like this is the first part that he dropped of the year, and it's it's like a lot of nollie backside flip over that is honestly insane. To put in perspective, it got kick flipped by Heath Kirchert forever ago, and then since then it kind of like fell off for a little bit. It's got backside flipped, it got frontside flipped and stuff like that. John Bradford did some stuff over it that was pretty incredible for his next part, but I like the fact that that spot's kind of popping off again. Not like backside flip is insane though. Definitely, well, what John did, yeah, it's, I don't know. Jocelyn has definitely the best clip that's been put out so far. A lot of these, like I'm recognizing a lot of these spots because they're sort of becoming the new hot spots, but you know, like when you think of like all the real spots, the real proving grounds, he's already done so many tricks on all of those spots, right? Like I always like talk about, you know, in some of my videos where like I skate with Jocelyn, like, oh, Jocelyn got an MBD at name any spot. And the trick that you assume that he does, like when you think of Reynolds, you're like frontside flip, backside flip, barrel heel flip. Like there's like a, not a small list, but there's like a very concise list. With Jocelyn, you really don't know. Like it's like he ghetto birded Hollywood 16. Like I think that means aside from the other big ghetto bird that he did, that's the biggest ghetto bird by like double the size almost. Like a lot of the tricks that he does, he can do down anything. Like fakie front heels, fakie barrel heels, like. No one's really doing those tricks down anything bigger than a 10, and he's taking it to, like, famous spots. So there's a couple things that I'm sort of, like, switch frontside flip that 17 say that Reynolds regular frontside flips. Like, I don't even think of Jocelyn as a switch frontside flipper. He is, obviously. But, like, if you would have been like, oh, what trick do you think that Jocelyn did down that 17 stair? I think a lot of us would have said tray flip or backside flip or back big spin. If you've ever been to this spot, it's not possible. There's a couple team riders who have something that they want to try on it, but we haven't got out there yet. Dude. Yeah, like, I've been there when the wood's set up too, and even with the wood, not that I, like, rode down it with any sort of speed to try to clear it, it seems like you're never going to have enough speed to clear that thing. It's really, really long. And the bank's so mellow, it doesn't look like it's going to really send you out. Let's look at his part that came out before that. And that Plan B part with like laser in him, that came out September of last year, so that's not accounted into this particular Sodi run. This part I don't remember as much. It's like, yeah, a lot of Barcelona footage, right? Or maybe it's all Barcelona footage. It might be themed. I'm not sure. Once again, like a lot of spots that like I'm sure, you know, locals of whatever foreign countries these are filmed in are pretty excited to see a lot of these bigger spots get skated. Because a lot of skateboarding that takes place overseas, especially like in Europe, seems to be on the more like cutty, techie side because a lot of their ground's rough. It's a lot of like chipped granite and, you know, just like more difficult stuff to skate. So to have someone out there who is down to jump down anything, and yeah, like your local 15 stair is really not that good, but he'll still skate it anyways, I'm sure it's kind of a cool thing to see. Like, hey, you know that set that no one's ever skated except for that one random dude, Ollie? Jocelyn came here and did, you know, big flip down it. That spot looks really cool. That did not look really cool. Like, switch backside flip down, like, the most random looking, like, what, 11 or 12 stair that you've never seen before. Gap to nose grind. I love it when he gets into his handrail game, to be honest. Like, yeah, he's kind of the underdog, though, just because, like, I mean, the tray flip, of course, right? Like, everyone's talking about it. And the switch frontside flip from his last part. But he's filling these parts with a lot of stuff that is, like, very difficult to do. Like, fakie barrel heel over that hubba. That's, like, really, really sick. But since he's not going to these major spots to stand out, which is the kind of stuff that a skater like him usually does to get more attention, I don't know. I think it's kind of sick. Like, I think it's exciting to see him skate completely different spots. But I feel like it's making a little bit less of an impact, even though all these tricks are insane. I didn't realize that he had like already like an epic part. His next part, he told me what song he's skating to as well. It's like a whole. It's gonna be. I'm 99% sure it's definitely dropping. He said it was before the end of the year, but it's gonna be one of those like epic parts. Epic parts don't really come out that much anymore. There's just too much skating to keep up with, but. I mean, the main takeaway that I'm having right now while watching this, especially because, like, I'm hurt and I can't skate, is, like, I'm looking at this ground, and, like, it's, like, that smooth tile and, like, how fun it looks like to just cruise around and do, like, kick flips on it. I've seen that gap before. Did that gap used to get skated in yeah, fake your front big spin? Who does that? Fake your front heel, another one. Lost and Found, the blueprint video. I feel like it did. I feel like someone frontside flipped it in the blueprint video. He's going through some boards, dude. That was a rare barrel heel for him where it didn't go frontside real far and he brought it back. Yeah, he does have a really mean switch frontside flip. I wasn't even paying attention to his shoes. I'm assuming he's in Etnies for most of this. That spot, people like skate off the next stair down. Fakey heel flip down something that big is so sick. Yeah, a ton of Betney stuff. Like a triple set I've never seen before. Little Jeremy Ray tribute right there. Dude, nollie back 180s over like long stuff is so crazy to me. That trick is really hard for me to push far. Like it feels very unnatural to throw it out that way. Switch tray lip a handrail. That looks terrifying. Going through some boards, man. Someone get this man a flight deck. Big old big spin. With big sets like that and they land kind of in a bank, like, I do think it makes it maybe a little bit harder to, you know, ride away from because you're, like, landing in a bank, but it also takes away from the impact. So I think it also has a benefit. There's a 10 stair in North Carolina, like the brick 10 that you land kind of downhill. And I remember when I skated it, I just did, like, a straight no comply down and I didn't do anything, like, too spicy. But I remember, like, I barely bent my knees when I landed and I was just like, oh, like, that didn't really hurt at all. I get it. Yeah, tray flip. How many was that? I mean, obviously less than El Toro, but definitely in a tray flip bag. What are we looking at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 360 flip down a 14 stair, right? Like how long ago was tray flip down Hollywood 16 a really big deal? Did Scheckler do that in the Plan B video? I mean, that right there, next to his other tray flip down the Davis gap, might be, you know, one of the biggest tray flips ever done. Like, that looks like it was probably bigger than Wallenberg. Wallenberg's super long, but it's not very tall. It's only 10 stairs tall. So it's a 3 flat, 3 flat, 3 flat, 1. This guy, his last name, the way it's written, how do you pronounce this? And why is it written like that? Like, where is he from? Someone explain this to me. Now, this guy is kind of like the most classically Thrasher dude in the entire equation. One, because, like, I think NHS and Deluxe, I think, are very Thrasher friendly. But also, like, this guy is doing something that not very many people are doing right now, and that's, like, kind of pushing the size of things. Like, Jocelyn is doing that, too, but it's, like... And I know a lot of people, like... I'll see comments where it's just like, oh, like, another crosslock 50-50 down, like, a crazy rail. I think people really underestimate how insane that actually is. Like, when someone has to take in consideration, like, oh, well, like, he's just really good at that, so that's why he can do it. Like, I feel like you're missing the point. Like, the fact that they got that crazy and that good at that trick to be able to do it on something that big and dangerous is pretty ridiculous. Like, not just, like, how long and wavy the rails are. Like, it's one thing to do, like, a super long handicap rail, but the steep stuff with the kinks that are sharp and stuff like that, like, no, dude. It's motocross stuff, basically. Okay, I think Tom Schaar, in my opinion, so far is the most likely to get it, but I would also really love to see this guy get it. Because he's like, he's not really in the limelight, right? Like, he's not winning a bunch of contests. I don't know if he does Street League or anything like that. I'm pretty out of the loop on that stuff. I don't think he does, though. He doesn't seem like he does. I don't think they make stuff big enough for him. And he's like, yeah, like, I don't know what's going on with his social media. He seems to have a pretty quiet presence. He's kind of like letting his skating doing the talking. And his skating is saying many, many things. Jesus. Like, to just kind of consistently risk your life for, like, video clips when skateboarding's in a point where people aren't really making good money is, like, yeah, I don't know. What's his shoe sponsor? Like, does he have a pro model shoe? Like, these are things that, like, I probably should know. Like, I probably should have done, like, the slightest bit of research on the skater before I watched this. But, like, the fact that I don't already know out the gate shows me, like, how, not, like, low-key, but, like, how much of, like, he's just skating this guy's doing. How terrifying. He also embraces the heel side quite a bit in this part. So this is one of those things that it's like, he's the one who found that spot. I think a lot of people could have done that board slide, but they didn't find that board slide. And that is one of the very few clips that, like, for example, you're not doing that. Most skaters are not going to want to step to. Like, dude. The nose slide, I think I liked way more than the back lip. I feel like the back lip you can kind of treat sort of front boardy. Little Cole Wilson tribute right there. Like, yeah, front blunt and front tail down some random 12 or 13 stair rails. That was fucking awesome. That's probably my favorite clip so far. But the fact that, like, he's doing that and it just, that's filler, right? This part seems to be not filler because there's a lot of incredible stuff in it, but the other part that we're going to watch next is just so, everything's just fucked. Yeah, and it just keeps going down. Oh, they chopped out the fence. Ooh! That kind of made the clip. Like, don't get me wrong, that's pretty wild, but almost killing your homies. Where do they find this spot? That's like one of those things that whoever lives around there has probably looked at that and thought about, like, oh, how crazy it would be if someone rode down it, but no one's going to bother to try to ride down it. Because you got to think about the handrail at the bottom. There's the water right there. There's a loop out factor. It's skaters like this or video parts like this that I really want to, like, pause and appreciate every single trick that they do. Because, like, the amount of, like, effort and, like, danger that goes into this stuff, I feel like it really does fall on deaf ears because it's just, you know, it's just built up. Like, right? Like, it's just like, oh, here's a part, and you're looking at this thing, and by the time you're trying to comprehend that, you're already on to the next clip. Like, right there, like, that could have ended in parts of his body never working again, you know? Does he end up landing that? Or does he walk away from it? Oh, no, there's a different spot. Okay. Maybe he doesn't go back for it. I would not blame him if he doesn't go back for it. It's one of those things where it's like, can you imagine, I don't know, almost dying and then being like, I want more. Like, when I think about Jaws's ollie down the 25 stair and the fact that he, like, tore his ACL and MCL, like, to go back to the same spot is, I mean, it's literally stupid. Like, it's dumb to go back to the same spot. Like, it's foolish. But it's, like, he wanted to do it. Like, it's really, really gnarly. It's, like, you know, commendable in a lot of ways. Logically, a terrible idea, but, like, we're all going to cheer it on because it's, you know, the biggest ollie that'll probably ever be done. He did tell me, and I didn't see the new Happy Medium video, I actually just talked to Jason about this, that there was one more ollie that he wanted to do that is bigger than the biggest ollie he's ever done. He said he thinks he has, like, you know, definitely, like, another massive ollie left in him. You know, who knows? He might have several. But I asked Jason to describe the ollie that he did in that part, and it's not the same one that he told me about. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I love that he's tail smacking on stuff that has no business being tail smacked. Oh, that's that spot that people, like, slide the hip and get speed wobbles. Yeah, like, look at the corner of the wall. The rail runs straight into the corner of the wall. I think 5.0, front 5.0, is going to be the new crazy crosslock 50-50, and here's why. For front 50-50, you can sit on a crosslock really good, and if you've ever 5.0'd a round bar, it's really, really scary to do, right? Like, your board flips over heel side, you can slam really easily. But once you get in, they're easy to hold, and you can drag your heel to slow yourself down. I could see front 5.0s as crazy of, like, a entrance that trick has, as far as, like, it's really scary to get into. Once you're in, you're kind of chilling. I could see that being the new rail trick that goes down something really big. Because people got kind of sick of back feebles real quick, and 50-50s, of course, people are less of a fan of. I think front 5.0 and back 5.0 are going to be, like, the real hot giant rail tricks. And, like, look how tall it is at the top. Like, he had to go dumb fast to get into it. It's steep. It drops off high. Guarantee it's one of those things that when you go to, it's way crazier in person. It looked like he popped way before the stairs. Hold on, is he popping off like a curb cut or something? Why is he so far? Am I tripping? I see the carp right there. It makes me think there's a curb there. I wonder if there's, like, a curb cut, like, handicap ramp that he's bumping out of or something like that. But I feel like if that was the case, they would show another angle of it. So if you didn't watch this video, you definitely should. I really enjoyed Peter Raffin's part too. I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Raffin, but he used to be pro for Black Label, like, a long time ago, and he ripped for Papa Peralta for a little bit. I want to say DeVille's the first person to really hook him up. But his career has done a lot of, like, he, like, disappeared for a minute and then came back and then was, like, hooked up again. it seemed like he was going to be like a man-am. I feel like once you get stuck in that realm of like, yeah, like I'm really good, but like to take it to the next level is like really, really difficult. And a lot of people can never get to the next level. I feel like when someone like is in that program for just like a year or two, they're kind of stuck there. And he was in that program, as far as my recollection is concerned. I remember him just being around for a minute and never taking it to the next level. And then later in his career, it's like this part that he dropped. I almost want to watch it because it's such a good part. And it's like I think a lot of it is sort of like more obscure spots, but it's like he's still skating like massive stuff. It's impressive. It's a fun watch. 100% recommend. You should consider being a Peter Raffin fan. I enjoy his style a lot too. Let me skip through this. I don't really care about the skit stuff and skate videos too much. I wish I did, because I know that a lot of times it ties the video together. And when I have fond memories of like old skate videos, these full lengths, like that was always a part of it that I liked. But yeah, what are you doing, dude? Why are you Smith? Look how steep that kink rail is. Like, yeah, a lot of like kink rails have been Smith, but not when it's regular handrail steep down. Ollie off roofs. I feel like I was there when someone else front boarded that rail. Am I tripping? I know that like they 50-50'd and board slid in my YouTube video. John and I think it was Johnny that skated it with him, and I think Cy board slid it too when he was like 11. But I want to say one of them front boarded it that day. There's been not a lot, but there's been a couple tricks that get done before the Power Peralta full length video comes out that one of our guys did. I think we're gonna be able to make a pretty fun ABD edit before our video drops. There's that crazy 5-0. You see how he's like really on his heel though? Like you could do a lot with that. If you're like brave enough and good enough to like lock in every try, you can sit on that trick pretty well. Jesus. Just cracks his head open in every part. Like they're just like, out skating, trying their hardest, doing stuff that scares them without like leaning into some sort of like gimmick, or not saying that Tom Char or Jocelyn necessarily have a gimmick. I feel like all the skaters who are in it right now, these three that I'm talking about, are all pretty skating first. Though, you could argue that Jocelyn has like a YouTube channel, but like once again, his YouTube channel is just like, it's him fucking skating giant shit. So, but like this guy is like just no frills, all thrills. Dragging the truck, like everyone would have given up on that board slide, right? Like, especially like when you lean over to the other side of the rail, that's a scary side to lean to, and he got into that lean immediately. So that means at the top of the rail, he was already pre-committed to leaning over. And there was another, I'm a big sucker for the unnecessary tail smacks. This is not possible. Like, okay, we know Matthew. We know how insane Matthew is. We went to this spot, and Matthew looked at this. He looked at it and was like, I think I can do it. I think I want to do it, but not right now. So like Matthew, the most no thought, just go for stuff kind of person, looked at this thing and was legitimately like, I think I can do it, but I need to like prepare for it. And I'm not saying he would have done it easy or anything, or he definitely would have done it. I'm just saying Matthew's like crazy when it comes to this sort of stuff. I've seen him do tail drops that would be used in video parts that he doesn't even film. In fact, when he like broke his, he broke his arm, no one was filming. He just like went over by himself and tried to do some crazy tail drop off camera just for funsies, and that's how he got hurt. But the gap into this thing is ridiculous, and just to ride down that bank. Like I was there, and a legitimate skateboarder did a flip trick into that he saved for his part. And like, good skateboarder. Like, very good skateboarder. I'm not going to spoil any video part clips, but dude, that tail drop is probably going to be the most underestimated trick in his part, because it's like another tail drop into a bank, and it's hard to appreciate how insane it is unless you've been there. So you just have to take my word for it. It's fucked up. It's really crazy on how scary that bank is and how far away that fence is. That looked terrifying. Oh, do you think this is skateboard quick-reat right here? So they gave him more room to land in? I think it definitely is. Like, I love that skating's at this point now where, like, these are spots, dude. These used to be BMX spots. Like, I was pretty not into ditch and, like, street transition footage growing up. But now it's getting so ridiculous. It's like, I don't know, it's like some video game shit, you know what I mean? Like, that cobblestone thing that he did, I'm going to rewind. I haven't really been doing that. Like, this ground does not look good. Just randomly sort of cobblestone. I bet you a lot of people look at this spot and think like, oh, like we should transition up to this to skate this like a quarter pipe. And he's like, no, let me go behind it. Oh, they Andy Anderson that rail? Is there duct tape on that rail? Look at the... You see that? Am I tripping? They put something on it so it grips a little better. That looks so fucking scary. How narrow that is, dude. No. Like, you would be thinking so hard about... Because if you land slightly crooked and you ollie off where your front truck's pointed slightly towards that wall, you're jumping your knees first into that wall. Guaranteed. Fuck that. Jump off a building. What do you do on this rail again? I already forgot. Yeah, steep rail nose grinds, very underestimated. Like, that's a rail that when someone 5-0s it, I'm like, that makes sense. Nose grind? No thanks. Now that I'm rewatching all the Sodi stuff and I'm seeing this all the way through, oh, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. That was absolutely bonkers. It just kept going, man. like you can't even not get hurt trying that. Like, you're just guaranteed to slam. He's like, yep, I'm alive. That was cool. My hands are so sweaty watching this dude skate. Oh, yeah, this. So there's 2 points of chaos here. I don't care how low this rail is to get on. I don't give a shit what they did to the other side of this to make it so you can get onto it. I don't care if there's wood here. I don't care if there's a goddamn resi ramp right here, okay? You get into this 50-50, you have to immediately lean to the other side because you have to get ready for this curve. So there's no hopping on and jumping off to the left side with any chance of getting anywhere. The rail starts bending here. So he is immediately jumping on with his face leaning to the other side of the rail. He is already on the scary side of the rail. So that means if he fucks up here, he has to jump down here, which looks very far and shitty. So if you jump wrong, your board flips out toe side, you are bummed. Then you get past that point to the sharpest corner. Now you have to worry about this drop. Like imagine you're leaning to the inside. Now you have to get ready to transfer off the outside. So you look how far in he is. Like, imagine this slips to feeble right here. Where do you think he falls? He will step off, his leg will get caught here, and he'll go flippity dippity and slam down here. Yeah, he grinded that thing far. Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine how bummed you would be if you, like, let's say you got to the end of it, you ollied out, and then you, like, slipped out. I'm sure it might have happened. I'm excited to watch the raw footage of this. Is that his ender? No. Oh, yeah, he does this drop in. I don't know how I feel about this drop in. I mean, or a roll in, I guess. It's just hard to appreciate. Because this angle, like, makes it look super, super insane. But I wish that I don't know. I wish that there was more angles to show from the side how ridiculous that actually is. The only reason I have issues with it, like, I think that it might, I mean, I'm sure it's insane, but the reason I think it might be a little bit less insane and more like it just looks incredible is because he doesn't ollie. And I can't imagine going the speed of some of the other stuff that I've seen done and someone trying to do an ollie. A lot of those guys who are into the really gnarly hill bomb stuff, they're not ollieing after it because I don't think they can. That was awesome. This is not possible. This is right next to Redondo Skate Park. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. John Bradford has something he wants to do there too, not involving that, but it's pretty ridiculous. Kicker ramp. I'm noticing a lot of makeshift stuff to get on a lot of the obstacles in this part, which a lot of times some of these big rails aren't going to have like proper run up and stuff like this. Like, obviously they probably saw this rail and like, we need to give it run up, but I think skateboarding is starting to have to accept that stuff because the stuff that people are doing seems to be pretty impossible otherwise. Definitely easy to frown upon it, but I try to just appreciate stuff for how crazy it actually is, regardless of what they had to do to get it done. Jesus Christ. All I'm saying is Steve Barrow would be thriving right now if he came out with the part in this day and age. Not really. Euro gaps. Oh, no, it's this. Dude. Yeah, I forgot about this clip. A street mega ramp. Like an actual, like, mega ramp size. Like, even the landing's ridiculous. Dude. That is actually probably my favorite trick he did this year. I don't know. He ollied after that too. Maybe he just ollies after gnarly stuff, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And that, who 50-50'd that? Was that Milton Martinez who 50-50'd that? Someone 50, or what's his name? Pedro Delfino 50-50. Maybe both of them 50-50'd it. But someone who got Sodi, I want to say, grinded that, or at least was nominated for Sodi. I saw like a little clip of him talking about like finding this on like Google Maps or whatever. Like, oh, let's find, I skate big rails and I bomb big hills. Let's just combine the two. Dude, going so quick. That right there, him just chomping through those chunks right there. Yeah, and indeed. What a rush that probably was. I mean, if you're trying to get an idea of how steep this is, so like look at where the driveway is and it ramping up or whatever. Look how immediate it has to be a drop right there. Like you could probably have a set of stairs going up this. Like if you turn the sidewalk into stairs, and it would probably be like 3 feet long stairs. Like it would actually have to be stairs the whole way up. They'd be longer stairs, but still, that's how steep it is. Just him just taking that, like the impact of where the road kinks and like that buckling him. Okay, so here's something I think someone could do. I found the way around gnarly hills and staying safe. So a long time ago, someone had like, I want to say it was like a birdhouse boost board. Like it was like one that you could like speed up with your hand. Like you could like make the brakes turn on and slow you down. Like what if, like in his closed hands, like, oh yeah, my hands are closed because I'm scared, but really there's like a button in there and he's like slowing himself down as he's going down some insane hill. Dude, someone take me to SF. I'm ready. This part is going to be ridiculous, some of the hills these bombs. I'm going to be bombing up hills. So tonight, I don't know, I want to have a discussion. Like what is there someone who you think I missed that could be Sodi? I do think it's down to those three. After watching them all right now, I'd say, I know the part out of all three of them that got me the most excited the first time I watched it was definitely Tom Shar. I guess we're going to have to see what these next two parts are, like the next part from Tom Shar and the next part from Jocelyn. And I can't imagine this guy Kevin dropping another part after those two. Be ridiculous if he did. But I think that if in Tom Shar's next part, if he skates some street, I think that would really seal the deal for him, because I know that he can. There's an old YouTube video that I have where I'm at Combi and I'm filming Grayson, and in between tries, because it was like it was like the last days of Combi, so like everyone's waiting a crazy amount of time for their turns. Grayson and Tom are just doing like flat ground tricks, and Tom Shar is doing very, very proper switch 360 flips, like good switch 360 flips, like catching him on the way up and stomping him down. So I know that he can skate street. Like I'm sure he could get a couple handrail tricks, a couple ledge tricks or whatever, and they would be pretty close to par of like what you would expect to see in a video part, on top of, with the mega ramp stuff and the vert stuff. I think that would be kind of cool. I really think that's what made Danny Way and Bob Burnquist's part stand out so much too, was they'd have random like handrail tricks in their part. Danny Way backside 360 in the Barcelona 4 block, which was NBD at the time, like for a quote unquote mostly vert skater to go to a famous street spot and to get a relevant trick on it that is NBD, that is known for being big, is pretty ridiculous. Now, did he pop that backside 360? I always joke that he 360 kick turned it, but I don't care. He did that down a massive gap, and very, very impressive. Comments and thoughts down below, what you think. My main notes are Kevin definitely had way more spot modifications the second time watching it than I thought he did, which some purists might have a problem with. Honestly, like I don't care. I just want to see cool stuff get done, and I think it's totally fine. As long as you're not trying to like hide it. That's when I'm like a little weird about it. Which is like, kind of what got Mr. Barra so in trouble for the skate spots that he skated that he built himself. Tom Shar's part, the second watch around, still really, really good. Didn't have the same boom that I remember it having. And then for Jocelyn, both parts were actually better than I remember them, because I remember them feeling a bit like, oh, he's not really skating the epic spot, so I'm waiting to see what else he did. So like me going back into those parts, remembering it being not the Jocelyn level that I expected it to be, and then realizing, oh, it's just a bunch of spots I've never seen before, so it's hard to compare it to his old stuff. Very, very, very good. And I think people really want him to win, especially because, like, I think the most Thrasher thing that happened, even though he's not the most Thrasher skater, is him trying to 360 flip El Toro at a point in time where I think everyone was like, this is Jocelyn's prime, right? Like, this is the best Jocelyn we're ever going to get. He's pushing 30 now. And for him to go back and to do the biggest skateboarding trick I think ever done. Like, I think it is the craziest next level thing that a basic trick has ever been taken to. The only other flip trick that's really been done down this thing is Dave Baczynski's kickflip. You could say kickflip melon by Jaws, but it's, you know, it's a different thing. Having the grab makes it a bit easier. It's still worth mentioning though, and it's undoubtedly trick of the year. Like, no one's touching it for trick of the year. I will say this though. I think if Jocelyn would have backside flipped El Toro, it was a surefire win for Sodi. Because the story that I know is, so Sheckle tried backside flip El Toro, couldn't do it, lied about it because he was asked by Jake Phelps. He thought he was going to go back and do it, and then he evidently couldn't do it. So, you know, I think he was kind of putting the pressure on himself, like, well, no, I definitely have to do it. It didn't work out. Then I heard that the reason Nyjah went to backside flip it was like literally like a kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he couldn't do it, I'm going to go do it. And when I think of Nyjah, backside flip's not the first trick that I think of, you know, as far as him doing stuff down big stuff. For whatever reason, like, I think of his switch big heel down Hollywood 16. But anyways, he stuck it, and Jocelyn is a really, really good backside flipper. So I don't think anyone's going to be skating El Toro ever again with all this drama that's going on with it. If you're not familiar, a lot of people are being sued right now by that school. Or can you imagine, like, Ben Gilly just randomly getting, like, a notice in the mail? Like, they're suing him for 5-0ing it forever ago. But yeah, as it stands, as I talk about it and I keep thinking about it, who do I want to win Sodi? I think it's still Tom Shar. I think Tom Shar would be my favorite person to win, but I do think that I could see them definitely giving it to Kevin, just because it kind of fits the brand pretty well. But then Jocelyn's going to be the people's champ. Jocelyn is pushing the limits of what is physically possible for a human to do while you're getting closer to your 30s, being that he's jumping down stuff bigger than he's jumped down stuff before, especially with, you know, obviously the stuff that's going to come out in this next part. So that's really what's going to boil down to the next part. I'll review those when those come out. I just thought it'd be fun to get some predictions in and have a discussion about it later tonight. So 6:30 tonight, live on this channel, we will talk about Sodi and skateboarding in tomorrow's video. I still have some footage, and I can still go out and film other people, so don't worry, this isn't just like a talking head channel for now on. It's just, this is what I have today.